Hello friends, welcome back to my channel for another math lesson. Today's class will be about graphs. If you guys saw my last video about functions, I did mention just like a little bit about like how I will do a class about graphs, and that class is today. So it's very important to know, and you guys will definitely need it throughout your whole math experience. You use it in every math class in middle school and probably high school as well. So yeah, it's extremely important to know and very, very helpful. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about the content that I go over in today's video, then of course ask me in the comments below, or you can ask me on either my Instagram or my Twitter, which will be up here, and you can either DM me privately or comment on one of my posts, and I will totally answer because that's what I'm here to help. Without further ado, let's just get on with the video. Let's go. Here are just like a brief overview of what we're going to be covering in today's lesson. So here I'm going to definitely go over what do coordinate graphs look like and what they are. I'm also going to go over what quadrants are, axes or axis, it's plural, and then we'll be going over coordinates / points. And then, of course, we'll have to cover how to plot points on a graph, because that is very, very, very important and not too hard. And then we'll have just like a short quiz at the end, as always. So first, I'm going to define a coordinate graph, and probably more commonly known as a coordinate plane. A coordinate plane is just like a plane formed by two real number lines that are perpendicular to each other, meaning they cross each other to make an exact right angle. You guys can go check out my planes video if you guys don't know what a plane is, and you guys can go check out my perpendicular lines video if you guys don't know what those are either. So make sure to go check those out because they will be very useful to know, and will be in the description below as well as the iCard above. And also my functions video, which is my last video, will be in the description and the iCard above as well. Here is just the question, what are quadrants? Because you may have never heard of those before. So a quadrant is one of the four parts into which the two axes divide on a coordinate plane. So there are two axes. There is the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis on a graph. And there is also a y-axis, the vertical axis on a graph. And I will be showing those to you guys. Here is just kind of like a very basic sketch of a graph. So it's a very rather detailed sketch of a graph. So as you guys can see, there is a y-axis, which is a vertical line with numbers on it, as well as a x-line, which is a horizontal line. So as you guys can see, there are four quadrants. I tried to color code them as best as I could. So here is the first one. This is quadrant 1. And you actually label them with Roman numerals usually. So that's something to know. However, you may not always have to. But in my experience, I always had to. Here's just quadrant 1. And this has all positive coordinates. I'll be going over those as well though. Here is the quadrant 2, and this has a negative x point and a plus y value. Here we have quadrant 3, it has both negative values. And finally we have quadrant 4. This is the positive x value and a negative y value. Of course, I'll be going over coordinates. So yeah, and it may be important or maybe just like useful in the future to learn where each quadrant goes. I understand it can be quite confusing and it's not like essential to know. I don't think a lot of tests that you take will have like, what are the four quadrants and what are their orders, you know, because that's not really like crucial to math really. So you don't really need to know it. However, I will say it is useful. The pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it might take a little bit for you to memorize it, but just something to note. Here is another question. This is coordinates and ordered pair. A pair of numbers used to identify a point in a plane is called an ordered pair. And it goes in the form of x, y. So yeah, the x coordinate is the first number in an ordered pair, and the y coordinate is the second number in an ordered pair. You guys can see right here. So I have prepared 4 examples of coordinates here. So and I'll show you guys how to graph them. So here, the coordinates is -1, 4. So I pointed to like the center point here where the lines intersect. This is called the origin, or 0, 0. So how you graph them is first you go from the x coordinate, which is the first number here. You start from 0, 0, and then what you want to do is you want to go over by -1, like this. But then you have to go up by 4. You have to reach the 4 up here. So you will go 1, 2, 3, 4. And your point is right here. Here we have the second example. And I like to start on the x-axis, so this, because it comes first. You can actually start from the y-axis too, but don't get them mixed up. So don't go over by -3 and then go down or go up by 2, because that's not going to work. So you always have to go start on the x-axis, x-axis, y-axis. What you do first is you start from 0, 0 once again, and you can go over by 2. And then you can go down by 3. So it'll be -3. 1, 2, 3. And here is your point. Also, one thing I also want to mention, whenever you're drawing a graph and it's within a specific quadrant, you don't always have to draw all 4 quadrants. You don't have to always draw this and then like draw all 4 arrows and then label it like y and then x. And then draw every single number, because that's just like not practical, you know? So what many people will do is, in this specific equation, these points are only in the quadrant 4. So what you can do is you can just draw it like this, and then only draw these numbers. Or if it was in the first quadrant, then you could draw it like this, and then you could just do this. So you don't always have to draw all 4 points unless there's more than 1 point and they're kind of spread across the whole graph. Then yeah, maybe you have to draw all 4. But in a case like this, then you don't always have to draw all 4 quadrants. You don't have to draw the full cross. You can just do the part where the point is in. So here is the third example. And here the point is -1, 0. I didn't highlight 0 as negative pink or positive green because 0 isn't negative or positive. So I didn't really think it would be right to label it like that. So x is, the x value is -1. So what you do is you start from 0 and you go over by 1. But you don't go up or down because it's 0. And you just kind of stay on the y-axis if the y value is 0. Like there's pretty much no exception about it. So the point would just basically be right here. I might outline it to make it look easier. So hopefully that's not like too difficult. It's usually pretty easy. However, I will warn you guys, one thing to be very careful about is you don't mess up the y and the x. Doesn't happen that much if you get used to it, but you know, at the beginning it might be a little confusing. You might want to go down by 1 and then stay on the y-axis when you really should be going over by x. So yeah, that's just something to look out for. So, and finally, here is the last example before we go on to the advanced room. So once again, this is 0, 4. So this time, instead of like the last one, the y value being 0, the x value is 0. So you would not stay on the x-axis and not go up or down. This time you would not go left or right because the x value is just 0. Instead, what you would do is you would go up by 4. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. And your point is right here. So hopefully you guys were able to understand that, and if you guys didn't, then definitely make sure to rewatch the video before you move on to the quiz. Let's go into the advanced room. Let's go. So now we are in the advanced room. Congratulations, you made it this far. This quiz will just be a short 4 questions. Every question I will give you guys 3 seconds to answer. As always, if you guys need to pause the video, take in this information and try and answer the question, click unpause and then see how I got it. So yeah, this first coordinate is this. I can't say it. So you guys will have to find the x value and then you guys will have to find the y value. And then just like plug it into the coordinates. So yeah, I will give you guys 3 seconds. Done. So for this one, what you guys can do first is you guys will have to find like the x value first. That's what I like to do. Start from 0, 0 here, then go over 1, 2. Honestly, you guys can like do whatever you want to like find the point. You guys can even like draw like a vertical line and see like where it intersects. So this first value is 2. And then what you can do is then you can go up. So start from 0. So you will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here you go up by 6. So the answer is 2, 6. Yeah, hopefully this wasn't like too hard. Now we'll be moving on to the second question. So this is the second question, and this time you will have to find the coordinates again on the graph. Once again, just try and find it. And yeah, I'll give you guys another 3 seconds to solve it. Done. So once again, you guys can start from like the x or y axis, but I like to start from the x. So what you would do here is, I guess to remember this a little bit better, you can just like, draw like a line and see where it intersects. So you guys can see this point has an x value of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then from 0, you would go up 1, 2. So here, your answer would be 5 because you moved on the x-axis 5. And then you will get 2 for the y value. So this is just 5, 2. So we have this third question. So just look at this graph and you guys will have to graph this ordered pair. And the coordinates I give you guys is 4, 3. Remember how to graph them maybe, and I will give you guys another 3 seconds. Done. So you can start from here, go over 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what you can do is you can go up 1, 2, 3. So your point would be right here. Hopefully this kind of like makes sense to you. So yeah, now we will be moving on to the last question of the advanced theorem. Finally, we have the fourth question, and this is just basically the same thing as the last one, but like, like different coordinates and stuff. I will give you guys just another 3 seconds, and also note that these are both negative, so this is the third quadrant, so 3 seconds. Done. So what you would have to do for this one is basically do the same thing. However, on the x-axis, because it's negative, you have to go left 3 instead of right 3, because that's positive. But this way, left is negative. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's negative 6. Then what you would do is you will go down by 5. So you will go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here is your point. If you guys kind of want to be more careful, then I guess you could just do like start from here and then draw like a dashed line or something. And this is definitely 5. So the coordinates here are negative 6 and then negative 5. So yeah. So hopefully you guys were able to get everything right. 4 out of 4, 100%. If you didn't, just like rewatch the video a couple times, as many times as you need though, honestly. Just take it at your own pace. It's okay not to get this stuff because it's new, and if you're new at something, you can't like immediately be good at it. So let me know how you guys did down in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so that way whenever I upload a new lesson, you guys will be able to watch it. Also, make sure to go follow my Instagram and Twitter, which will always be displayed on the screen. And I will see you guys next week with a brand new video. Bye!